events that I've been coming to for as long as I've been coming to Glasgow. So it's really, really cool to be able to say that I'm doing one of the lunchtime recitals. When growing up, I would go see Angus McCall and Willie McCallum and Jack Lee, and my dad would be playing here. And it's not as easy as they make it look. So it's really great to be here, and I'm really, really glad you all came to listen today. I'm going to start with a couple 3/4s. Changed a little bit. It's a bit warmer up here, but it might be just me. 3/4 marches. The first one is called Stornoway Bay. It was written by Donald MacLeod. It's a tune you don't really hear very often, but I really quite like it. A minor tune, which I play a lot of them. And I started my medley at the Metro Cup this year with it, and it seemed to work out for me, so keep playing it. The middle one's a classic John McCullum of the Noon tune. It's called My Dream Valley on the Road to Glendaruel. And I finished with a new tune Can everybody hear me? We good? Okay. It's written by Ryan Canning. So if you've been listening to pipe band videos lately, Shots actually opened one of their medleys with it. It's called The Siege of Dubrovnik, I think. And I think it's a fantastic tune, and it's definitely a new tune that will go down as being a tune to play. I'm going to keep going with a couple of pointed hornpipes. The first one is called Fiona Ferguson. It's another Donald MacLeod tune, but published in the John McFadden book that I was teaching this year, and I never actually bothered to learn it before. After teaching it, I figured, hey, this is actually pretty good. And I might start with a different Donald. I like Donald MacLeod tunes. I'm going to play by Major George Allen, Fiona Ferguson, and then an old fiddle tune that's written as a slow hornpipe, but it's a tune that I've competed with for longer than half the time I've been playing, called Joe McGann's Fiddle. So I'll play maybe a slow air to start, but we'll go right to 3 pointed hornpipes. sad when he wrote it, so it's nice to play. It's a good test for you to make sure your F and D are stable too. Next, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to pick some random people in the crowd to pick an MSR for me to play. Because I have to have 6 MSRs going for Inverness anyway. So, Charlie, I'm going to give you 6 marches. Verna Leith's Wedding March, Morag Ramsey, Jimmy Young, John McCall's March to Piobaireachd, Mrs. MacDonald of Danac, or Pipe Major Jim McWilliams.
Jimmy Young.
Jimmy Young. All right. Bonnie. Caledonia Society of London, Highland Harry, You with the Crooked Horn, Kirsty McCalman's favorite, Bob of Fettercairn or Harnesston Castle.
You with the Crooked Horn.
Okay. And who wants to pick my reel? I don't see any hands. This is awful. All right. Lisa. Duncan McIntyre, RMS Athenia, Neil Angus MacDonald, Alex C. McGregor, Willie Murray, Kathy Hughes, or Back of the Moon. Alex C. McGregor. All right, so I'm going to play Jimmy Young, You with the Crooked Horn, and Alex C. McGregor. Thank you. You can pick one later. Leslie McGregor before a little differently than that. I actually got that setting largely from a recording I heard of Fred Morrison playing. It was in the Silver Star at Inverness, 2003 or 4. And I think he had a prize, but it wasn't high, so it was never really put out there. But somewhere I got this recording of it, and I just thought that's a great way to make a tune that a lot of people think is not really that difficult into a bit of a beefier tune. And I really like it, so I keep playing it. I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to play a couple jigs for you. Some more traditional ones. First being the Curlew, one of my favorite tunes of all time, written by the late, great Donald McPherson. And I think from there I'll go into a tune written by Bob Worrell. It's called Drew James McIntosh. A new tune that, again, is probably going to be played for a whole lot of years. And if you ever listen to Field Marshall's 2002 album, that's a jig they start the whole thing with, and I think it's a really great tune. And from there, I think I'll play The Rakes of Kildare, which is an old Irish tune that I play a setting. I believe I got a lot of it from Gordon Walker, but some of it's just kind of become the way I do it. So it's a little bit of, a little bit of everything. Start with a slow air. Probably just make sure the pipes are good. If I blow up and they're good, we'll just go for it. a couple extra on there because the pipes are going, and it's like, oh, I'll just kind of keep going. Just 3 jigs, 3 minutes. It's kind of not much of a set, so I tried to go for 5. The 4th jig I played was written by Gordon Duncan. It's called the 98 jig. And from what I understand about that tune, the only reason it's called the 98 jig is because he didn't have a name for it when he submitted it for the Worlds for his band. And instead of it just being the 98 jig, the RSPBA took the slash out and it just became the 98 jig. And the last tune I played is by one of my favorite composers, Peter McLeod. I can't remember if it's senior or junior. I think it's senior, but it's called the Blue Lagoon, and it's kind of like the hardest jig that I can play. So when things are going well, I'm like, yeah, we'll try this, and sometimes it crashes in flames. But I made it through, all high A grace notes intact. It was really cool to look out when I was playing the curlew and to see so many pipers playing along. I think, Donald would be really, really happy to know that this tune is being played by so many people in the crowd here. So if you don't know it and you're a piper, tisk tisk, get the music out because it is one of the best tunes going. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to play the ground and maybe a little bit from a Piobaireachd, but I'm going to get someone else to pick it for me because, again, I have to have 6. So, who wants to pick Piobaireachd? I need someone to raise their hand because this is outrageous. All right. I think he was first. All right, so Old Knight of the Shells, Earl of Seaforth Salute, Lament for the Viscount of Dundee, Macrimmon's Sweetheart, Lament for Captain McDougall, or Ronald MacDonald of Morar.
Lament for the Viscount of Dundee.
Okay. So I'll probably play the ground in the first variation or two because it's pretty nice. And then we'll keep going from there. going to keep going. I'm going to play 2 hornpipes that I've actually written. The first one is named for my great girlfriend, Chantal, Miss Chantal Watt. She's totally angry about me saying that. She's there too, wearing a white and blue dress. So I wrote this for Christmas because I was running out of things to buy her. Oh boy, I might be in trouble. And then I'm going to go from there and I'm going to play a tune that I wrote for a really good friend of mine named Captain Foley. Steve Foley is one of the world's best bass drummers, without a doubt, and he's an amazing guy. His family was really good to me when I was playing with Charlie Lumsden and the LA Scots. And I wrote this tune, and it's a little syncopated, and I kind of thought, who better to write it for than Steve when he got his promotion in the California Firefighters to captain. So it's Miss Chantal Watt and Captain Foley. down a little notch. I'm going to play a couple of my favorite 6/8 marches. I'm going to start with a tune that I teach it now because there was I haven't been piping that long, but when I first heard it, I think I heard so many bad Highland dancer pipers doing a terrible job of it that I thought it was a crap tune. But it's actually, I think it's fantastic. I'm going to play All the Bluebonnets Are Over the Border. And after that, I'm going to play two tunes written by my grandfather's teacher. My grandfather, Ron Rollo, he passed away a couple of years ago, but I actually have original manuscripts of the tune, which is ultra famous, Farewell to the Creeks. And I'm totally, what's his name?
Robertson.
Jimmy Robertson. Sorry, I just totally blanked. Thank you. And I'm going to play Farewell to the Creeks and another tune that I had handwritten from him, and it's dated 1947 or something. It's called the Turf and District Pipe Band. So I'll play those three for you. And then I think that'll be just about it. I'm going to finish off with some more jigs, but I'm going to start with a piece called The Magic Flute. It was written by Martin Bennett, and it utilizes just about every sort of false note that you can on the chanter. So any of the traditionalists, you might want to leave after the 6/8. And then I'll play just a couple of jigs that use those notes as well. So we'll chat though. We'll chat. Surveil. I have no idea what it means. I can spell it for you if you want, but that's all I got. Then I'm going to go to a tune that the band plays actually called The Atlantic Bridge. But then I drop it down a key using some of the natural notes we have. And I'm going to finish with a tune that I wrote called Drum Major Ken Misch, also of the LA Scots Pipe Band. So here goes. very much, everybody. That's the end of my set for today. I really appreciate you all coming out. I really do, because it's a dream to be playing up here on the stage that so many famous, great pipers have played. So being able to just say I walked where they walked, it is a dream come true for me to be up here headlining a lunchtime recital. So thank you, and I'll be around if you have any questions about the tunes or anything. My piece is just there. Let me put them away, and I'm happy to chat or anything. So thank you all very, very much, and we'll see you around.